Back here on SportsLine as we continue to talk Titans as they continue training camp over at St. Thomas Sports Park. Of course, when Dean Pease retired, the Titans, we thought, were looking for a new defensive coordinator. But it turns out it's going to be defensive coordinator by committee, it looks like. Jim Haslett was brought in to be the inside linebackers coach, the veteran player and coach in the National Football League. But it looks like it's going to be a combination of Mike Vrabel and Shane Bowen, the outside linebackers coach, that are going to do the defensive play calling this year. Shane Bowen has a lot on his plate. He's got to help these outside linebackers get a pass rush, and looks like he's going to be overseeing the entire Titans defense. Here is Shane Bowen speaking to the media recently.
Sure. Hey, Shane. Question about DeAndre Walker for you. I'm just curious, in your mind, is he closer to being a true rookie as he goes through this training camp just because of how much time he missed last year? Or is he, much further along just because of what he was able to learn last year?
Yeah, I think he was engaged throughout the season last year, and that definitely helped him. I've been pleasantly surprised with how he's come back ready to work and just focus in on some of those things in the offseason that we had talked about, him needing to improve. So I've been pleased with him up to this point. And again, it's just as this thing gets going, more live bullets, just the entire process of it and the understanding of the defense and bringing it all together, play in and play out, and the consistency with how he does that, I think is always going to be something that we got to keep working with right now because he is young. But I've been pleased with him up to this point.
Coach, can you tilt the camera just a hair down?
Yep.
Center you up a little bit. There we go.
Better.
Paul?
I was going to ask about Walker too, but I'll move on to looking at Isaiah Wilson from your guys' perspective. When they see somebody that much bigger, how much are they thinking speed rush? Does the approach change at all when you see a guy of that size?
Yeah, I mean he's a massive human, and it's tough to really go through him. I think with all these O-linemen, we always looking at skill sets and what they do well and what they might not do well, and it's drastically different from Isaiah to Taylor, right? Like they're just different types of players. So I think that's something we're always trying to evaluate as rushers and figuring out the best moves that work against them. And I mean, he's improved over the past couple of days. He's improved. I think our guys see it, and we just got to start to understand who he is. And now we got pads on what we can do. Kind of take advantage of them in rush.
John Glennon.
Hi, Shane. Trying to get a sense of where Vic Beasley is in terms of close to practice, and also, kind of how much he is behind the 8 ball right now, given a little bit more missed time on top of no off season.
Yeah, I think he's working every day like everybody else. He's here. He's trying to get himself ready to go. He's in meetings. He's engaged. I think he's doing a good job learning. You can start to feel him get a little bit more comfortable with just being new around the guys and in our meeting room. But, I mean, it's going to be a process just for anybody else coming into a new system. There's a terminology aspect that you got to be able to equate to what he knows. And then on top of that, just our expectation level, what we're looking for on each and every play, that comes with playing the position. I mean, we ask a lot of those guys, but I mean, I'm glad he's here. I'm excited to kind of see him hopefully get out there before too long. I can't tell you when, but I'm excited for him to get out there and kind of see what he can do.
And I've got a follow for the defense as a whole. How good is it to be able to go up against an offense that did so many things and has so many weapons? Pretty good test on a daily basis, given what this offense did last year and its potential.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, just they got the whole spectrum, and they're talented on that side of the ball. I mean, think very highly of the O-line. Obviously, those are the guys that I see with my position group every day. But it is a challenge. We got to strap it up every day and be ready to compete. And ultimately, it's only going to make us better, and hopefully, we can answer the call and help them improve as well. But it's a good challenge for us each day, and I think our guys kind of embrace it and understand what it is.
Steve Layman.
Hey, Shane, I'm going to go to a DB guy, but since you're speaking for the defense here, Kenneth Durden's been around for a while and kind of in a supporting role and doing a lot of things in practice, special teams and that. But today he really shined out there defensively. How much have you seen him grow, and was today sort of emblematic of that growth?
Yeah, I mean, I think that entire group has been competing and battling as we've been watching the one-on-ones and all that other stuff. But he's come in. He's always been a guy that's competed and been able to play in man coverage and do some good things in man coverage for us. I think it's just a continued growth for him and the entire defense. But I'm pleased with him. I like how he competes. I like how he challenges.
Jim Wyatt.
Hey, Shane, I know both these guys kind of catching up a little bit on White Ray, Jamal Davis, a couple of guys signed in the last couple of days. What intrigues you about those guys, and what they need to do, I guess, in camp to make a good?
Yeah, so it's funny because that's how it's kind of been the past few years, it seems like. But Wyatt's came in, he's picked up on the defense quick. I mean, he's learning our expectation level in terms of effort and some of that other stuff. He's splashed already. I'm excited he's here because I do think just his understanding of our defense already is going to help him in the transition. And we had Jamal last year, just his energy out there, how he kind of brings juice into the meeting room. I think our guys enjoy him. So it's a challenge for those guys coming in and then having to be thrown in the fire like immediately. But for both of them up to this point, really Jamal today was the first day, but I mean, I've been pleased with their ability to handle it and answer the call and go out there and at least allow us to practice.
Teron?
Yeah, Coach, you see Jeffrey Simmons come out today and really set the tone. What can you expect from him, and how much of a tone setter could he be for that defense for the season?
Yeah, I mean, it's what we expect. Like, there's a high expectation level for him, and we're going to hold him to that standard. And we expect between him and Daquan in that room to be tone setters, not only for that room, but our entire defense. And we're going to hold him to that standard. And it's got to be every day. And he's still learning. He's young, but when it's good, it's good. And we just got to keep harping on that, the leadership aspect of it, and kind of the role they play. And like you said, setting the tone for us as a unit.
After seeing him today in pads for the first time since last season, I mean, is there a noticeably different aspect of him as far as speed, power, now that he's fully healthy?
Yeah, I think just probably his comfort level, where he's at, where his body is. I mean, he's had a whole offseason to work. He's not going out there. Last year, the first time he put pads on, he was coming off an injury, So I think just being able to gain confidence in his body up until this point, where now there's no second thought when it comes to any of that stuff, and he can truly focus on doing what he's supposed to do and playing with the technique and fundamentals and attacking and all those types of details that come with playing that position.
Emily Proud.
Hey, Coach. Kind of this new role of being that extension of Mike Vrabel. Do you feel like you have to, not just be focused on your position group, but maybe rotate around other defensive position groups at practice, this year kind of compared to last training camp?
No, like I've mentioned, I think our defensive staff is incredible. I think we got good guys and we collaborate, and they're all good coaches, good teachers. They're all here for a reason. And I trust them to do whatever they need to do. Mike trusts them to do whatever they need to do. We see eye to eye on everything. We talk through everything, probably more so than anywhere I've been, probably because of the situation, obviously. But I don't really feel the need to double check them at all or any of that. Like I said before, I'm pretty focused on hopefully getting these outside linebackers developed in a position where they can make some plays first and foremost, and then go from there.
Last one, Buck.
Hey, Coach, appreciate your time. I know you probably try and take a lot from Mike Vrabel's coaching style, or just things that you've learned over the years that you spent with him. But what's one thing in principle that you want to make sure that you apply to your coaching style that you learn from him?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is we're never going to let anything slide. We're always going to keep the expectation level in everything that we do, from the smallest detail to the biggest thing. Like, we're never going to let anything slide. And that's the beauty of having everything filmed, because you see everything. But I think just focusing on the little things, the details of every position, every play, understanding how they affect the game and affect that play. Ultimately, that's always been my focus with the outside linebackers. Like, we talk about things in there, and they probably get sick of hearing it, to be honest. But I'm a firm believer that the little things ultimately make the big things happen, and we're all really just 1/11th of what this thing is, and you got to make sure you focus on doing your job, and it takes all those little things to be able to do that.
Shane Bowen, Titans outside linebackers coach and probably game day defensive play caller along with Mike Vrabel this year. Again, Dean Pease retired after this past season, so the Titans do not really have a definitive defensive coordinator. So it looks like it's going to be a combination of Mike Vrabel and Shane Bowen, who you just heard from. Perhaps Jim Haslett as well, the inside linebackers coach. Should be very interesting to see how the Titans defense functions this year in a kind of unusual setup with no definitive defensive coordinator. We shall see. Again, Titans back at practice tomorrow and Friday. And they'll be off Saturday and back at it on Sunday as this most unusual training camp in the COVID-19 world continues. We'll take another break, come back with more right after this on SportsLine on NewsChannel 5+.